Hi, my name's Gary Hartley. I have a podcast called By the Chalkboard, which is centered around expanding your experiences of life. Now, I just finished up taking a podcast course led and hosted by Brian Rose of London Real. This is my review of that course. It's an 8-week course. And I want to compare that course to this coat I'm wearing. I've had this coat for almost 30 years. Almost 30 years ago, I was waiting tables in a Mexican restaurant here in Abilene, Texas, where I live. And one day this busboy came in, this young Mexican kid, and he was wearing one of these. And I complimented him on it. I said, "I really like that coat you're wearing. It looks comfortable and soft and warm." And he said, "It is." He said, "I got this in Mexico." And he said, "I go down there every couple months." He said, if you give me $10, I'll get you one next time I'm there." Sure enough, a couple months later, he brought me this back. It's quality. It's lasted almost 30 years. And I've worn it quite often in the wintertime here in West Texas when it's cool. It's comfortable. It's warm. And it lasts because it's quality. This podcasting course led by Brian Rose is quality. It will last. You implement the process that he lays down in this course in your podcast, and your podcast will be quality. It will be made with quality, like a good coat. You'll wear it this week. You'll wear it next year. You'll wear it 5 years from now. This is what you want if you're doing a podcast. If you're starting a podcast, you want it to endure. You want the quality to be there at the beginning. If you want a good coat, you have to have the quality there at the beginning, right? You have to have it manufactured and made that way. You want your podcast to be this way. Brian Rose's course, called Broadcast Yourself, will do this. Brian Rose knows this. He knows how to do it because he's been doing it for 9 years. He's had a podcast for 9 years now and is very successful in doing it. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. Every week, this course will challenge you. Some weeks more than others. Some weeks where, okay, there's some work to do, and some weeks where, wow, this is really pushing me to my limits. But you need to be pushed to your limits. You can't have a successful podcast unless you're really pushed. This course will push you. It will challenge you. But you're not walking through this alone. You have leaders. You have groups. You have other fellow podcasters who are also developing their podcast, and they're walking along with you, sharing ideas. You're sharing your ideas. You're posting your podcast ideas, and they're looking at them, and you're looking at theirs. So you're walking with people through this whole thing. You have mentors and leaders who have gone through this course that you have access to. That makes it valuable, makes it very valuable. It's not a course you're taking by yourself online. It's a class. You're taking this as a class with other people from around the world. So you're also getting perspectives from people in different countries on their podcasts. You have ways to build up your guests, to know how to reach guests and get guests and build that up. And it works. It worked for me in fantastic ways that I couldn't even imagine. I have guests on my podcast I would have never even spoken to in real life because I went, oh, that person, why would they want to talk to me? And yet they're coming in on my podcast now. And I'm saying this is because of the course Brian Rose put together called Broadcast Yourself. If you're looking for a valuable course, this is an 8-week course, to launch your podcast, or even if you have one, to expand your podcast and learn methods and techniques that will help improve, reach a greater audience, then I would highly recommend taking the Broadcast Yourself course hosted by Brian Rose, who at this time is also running for mayor of London, which is a fantastic thing. So look into it. This is from my experience. Gary Hartley here, By the Chalkboard. Thank you.